There we go. Now we're recording. But if you're not talking to enough people, then you're not going to see that big compound effect and that growth that you're wanting to see. It is inconsistency, but it's also making sure that your numbers that you're tracking is matching the goals that you have. So she said, even now, like you think, oh, she's an 11th star diamond coach, it must be easier. People must just be coming to her. Because we've heard that, like some calls, like, oh, I don't reach out to anyone anymore. She's still sending 60 invites a day. 60 invites a day. And that's how she trains her new coaches, her brand new coaches. She's having them send 60 invites a day. And that's like just the norm. That's the standard. So that's why they're seeing success right away. And that's why she's continuing to hit higher Success Club numbers and build her team. And I asked her, like, okay, so if you're sending that many invites, do you have like some awesome tracking system? She's like, no, I wish I did. I probably should learn Google Streak, but I still just do pen and paper. So I guess like if you are, I don't know. I just know there's been times in the business where I'm like, I hold myself back because I'm like, I'm going to do that after I watch that training and after I watch that video and after I set this up and after I implement X, Y, and Z, then I'll start doing that. Don't hold yourself back. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need fancy graphics. You don't need, like literally you can just, I think the fastest way to be successful is to just throw a bunch of stuff out there. Like just figure it out. Find your sweet spot, but keep trying new things. And one example of this I was actually sharing with my husband earlier today is, I've been thinking all of January, my birthday is on February the 1st. And so all of January, I was thinking like, I want to go on my Insta stories and, like talk about how much of a gift this is to my life. Like this has literally changed my life. I don't even know if I would be here if it weren't for coaching because of like the dark place I went through a few years ago and how coaching's the thing that brought me through. And I just want to pay that forward. Like, not here to cram down anyone's throat, but I want to pay it forward to everyone that is like in need of an answer and wants it. That's what I'm here for. And if I'm not talking about it, I'm literally being selfish. So I had this idea that I would do like a 35 for turning 35. I'm going to be 35, which is crazy. But 35 for 35 thing. I saw Danielle Natoni do it when she turned, I think she was 39 this year or 40. I don't know. 39 maybe. But I saw her do it and I like in your head, you're like, well, of course she can fill the 39 list because, you know, she has a huge social media following and everyone looks at her. Like these are the self-limiting beliefs that are like make their way through my head. Right. And, all of January, I just kind of kept putting it off like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Or I'll do it when I do my hair and makeup or whatever. And I finally, yesterday, I was like, Emily, you just need to freaking do it. Because I was like, well, no, I was thinking, reasoning it out in my head of like, well, I've put things on my Insta stories before and I didn't see like any huge traction, but I'm like, Emily, you don't just try something once and be able to tell whether it was a success or not. You have to try it a few times. B, you are in a different place now. Your passion and your energy comes through. Like people read energy and confidence. That is so real. And B, like you've never tried this. You don't know unless you put it out there. And if no one responds, no one responds, but talk about it all month of January for the rest of January and talk about it all of February. And so I went on my stories last night. I talked long-winded, too long probably for Insta stories, but I figured if someone's actually watching and interested, then I know that they're going to watch all the way through. So that gives you then those people like on the very last story, if they listen to my long-windedness, you look at that list of people that have watched all the way through, weed out the coaches and whatever. But those people that are watching, those are probably your people. Those are probably the people that are really interested. And maybe they didn't reach out or they didn't vote on the poll, but they're like, oh gosh, like there's something that is there. Otherwise, they're not going to take their time to listen to me ramble. So I'm just like sharing this to let you know, I deal with insecurities all the time. They come through our brains and then it's up to us to be like, no, I'm going to do this anyways. And B, like, just be creative. Go, if you have an idea, run with it. Just try it. Go for it. Be excited about it. Let that passion and excitement come through because you never know what's going to happen. I did have a few people reach out to me and vote on the poll or whatever that I added into my sneak peek, and had I never put myself out there, I wouldn't have been able to connect with them. So you never know what's going to happen unless you put yourself out there. And I would just make it also your goal throughout, as we're focusing on February, to just be super consistent. And if you have not been talking in your stories and sharing and going through this list of like the different things, you're missing out, because people are so now invested in, they watch IGTV, they watch lives, they watch stories. What do you do like at the end of your day, or if you're just like scrolling and you have time or whatever, what do? You watch stories, you watch lives, you watch people talk, you want to be entertained. We all want to like, what's entertaining to us? So I don't know if you were on, hopefully you were either on the call last night and Follow Your Bliss, or watch the recording, but what's her name? Shannon. I really liked a lot of the Instagram story tips that she shared. I thought that they were gold, and just kind of like how she weaves things in, and without like cramming it down your throat, but also showing real life, because you're not just a coach, you're also an aunt or a mom, or you have a full-time job that maybe you love, or maybe you don't love, and maybe you have a hobby, and maybe you like to drink, and maybe you like to sew, and maybe you love dogs. Like, you're a person. And I just think like that's the gift. So if you're not sharing all the different facets of who you are, you're missing out. You're stifling yourself. You're stifling your business. And that makes business feel a million times harder. And trust me, because I have done that. And I've done that literally even up until just recently. I've noticed areas where I was like stifling myself, or putting like the G version out, like the politically correct, trying to please everyone version, where you're like, this is harder work because I'm not just like letting myself be free and fly. Yeah, it's going to turn some people off if I talk about God, or I also, say shit or drop an F word here and there or whatever. Like, that might turn some people off, but also that flies out of my mouth sometimes. And also like, that's me. I'm multifaceted. And I guess like those are going to be your people. You don't want to like build a team of people that don't even really know you, and then they find out the real you, and you guys realize you have nothing in common. You don't click. And so I just like really encourage you, because I know it can be scary to talk on live or Insta stories if you're not used to it, but I promise you, the more you do it, the better you become. And Mercedes is such a great example of this. I know that she shared in one of our chats earlier this month, that it's like she feels maybe a little insecure or something about sharing on stories because of her accent. And I'm sorry, Mercedes, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I think it's awesome that you shared that. And the thing is I love your accent. I love listening to you talk. So it's something that like you're insecure about, but I love it. I think it's so beautiful and it's so intriguing, and it's literally what makes you you. So you should never feel insecure about it. And that's just one example. Like, we all have these things where like, oh, I don't want to share that. Or like, I have like an awful laugh, or a weird smile, or like a weird quirk or whatever. Share that. You should be 100% yourself, whatever it is. And because that is going to be that's you, and that's what's going to draw your people to you. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself to like be like someone else, and just have fun with this business and be yourself. Like, you'll learn, you'll naturally put business things in along the way. Like, that's all awesome. But I really want to see more of all of your personalities coming out in your posts and in your stories. And you can weave your coaching stuff in and weave your workouts in and all that. But like, I want to see you, and so do your people, because I think that the most attractive thing right now, especially in an age of Instagram, when you can look through like the explore page, or I don't know, like I have a lot of like different mom feeds pop up, and they're so beautiful and so put together and so perfect. And like all their children are lined up, and they all look so gorgeous, and they're all dressed so perfectly at all times. And there's no mess in their house or spills on their shirt. And they do not have messy, greasy hair that's 5 days old. And I am just like, that is not me. I cannot relate. Oh my gosh, you are a freaking mom unicorn. You have 4 children and you all look perfect all the time. And you have no struggles. And yes, it is gorgeous. But it does baffle me. Like, how do these people have massive followings, and they're like social media influencers, I follow them, but almost because I'm like, But why? Why is that interesting? Because I don't relate. Like if they were a coach, I wouldn't join them because like, that's out of my realm. That would make me, especially me 5 years ago, would look at that and be like, I could never be that, so I can't be a coach. People need to see you where you are and you're real and raw and vulnerable and the struggles that you have, because they're going to relate to that. And the more we can just like pull back that layer and be vulnerable, the power of vulnerability by Brene Brown is so awesome on this subject, but that's what connects us with people. I was thinking about like when you watch I don't watch it anymore, but back when we had cable years ago, like the fitness shows, like, I don't know, like you'd have like The Biggest Loser or the one with like Chris and Heidi, like, like you have these people that are really overweight and then you watch the show all the way through. And are you guys following? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes. Okay. I'm guessing they still exist. I literally don't know because I don't have cable anymore. But you watch the show all the way through and then like you get so excited to see the big reveal at the end. Like, oh my gosh, what do they look like? But it's not the before and after that you're freaking excited about. It's not the perfect like girl with 6-pack abs that you're excited about. You're excited because you watched that girl at 300 pounds bust her ass and do a workout and show up and cry and come again the next day and fail and eat a cupcake and eat 5 cupcakes and then come again the next day and try again and try again. And now they have the 6-pack abs and they're crying because it's changed their life and their marriage and their family's life. But the only reason you care and you give a shit is because you watch their journey, their imperfect journey. It's not the before and after. It's not the pretty picture. It is literally the fact that you connected with them somehow. One of their struggles you connected with, or all of them maybe in different ways. That is what we're doing. Like as coaches, it's not about like showing up all perfect and amazing, like, oh yeah, I'm so perfect all this time. And I realize like that is something I really struggle with. My grandmother, her name was Bibi, and she's the most amazing thing in the world. And she's like regal. Well, she's fallen asleep, but she was like this incredibly regal, always put together woman. And I mean, like literally she'd be in her pajamas and it looked like this, like, I don't even know, like the woman just looked impeccable at all times. And people would always say like I was so much like my grandmother because like she was like very stoic, and my dad is also very stoic, and that's something like within me that it's almost challenging for me to let that guard down and be vulnerable. So you just kind of keep this like, I don't know, I'm fine at all times. You might be falling apart inside, but you're like, I'm fine, I'm totally fine, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine. Like I don't know, it's just within me, and it's taken me all of this time of coaching to even realize it's okay to say, you're not fine, Emily, you're freaking struggling and you're a mess, and that's all right. You don't have to be put together all the time. It's okay. And I'm still a work in progress. Amy, I love you too. You're so sweet. But I just like, that's what I want to see more from all of you. And I promise you, I know it's scary to like let your vulnerability down and not just share some post that you think you're supposed to share. Like you follow other coaches on social media and you start to see a pattern. You start to see a certain verbiage. You start to see a certain like way that they share before and afters, or like their shake or their healthy meal or whatever. Stop looking. Like literally, I want all of you right now to stop following every coach in the network. And I know that most people are not going to say that, like most, like, oh, you should follow them, and it's fine. Like you can keep following them and just like hit mute. Like you go to their story, you hit mute so their posts don't come up anymore. So you can still follow them and find them if you want to, but you don't need to see their stuff. You need to focus on your own journey. You need to focus on the fact, like I feel like we should be coming at it every day that like, okay, I'm the only coach in the network. Like I'm the only coach that exists. And people have no idea what coaching is. They have no idea what Beachbody is. They have no idea what these workouts are. And it is simply my job to show up and love my journey and share that journey as authentically as I can and in my own voice. And I know that my verbiage and my voice and the way I share things has so been clouded over the years because I have followed too many freaking coaches. And I'm like, my feed doesn't look like theirs. Oh my gosh, my filter isn't like theirs. My preset isn't like theirs. My hair isn't like theirs. My kids aren't like theirs. My marriage isn't like theirs. My success stories aren't like theirs. I haven't risen to the top as fast as they have. Like, it can be so, to me, that it's so draining. It's such a joy suck, and I didn't realize it for a long time, but it's a joy suck for me. I don't like following other coaches. I love following you guys. I love following our team because you guys are my family, but that's different. I'm talking about, like, you know, all the other ones. The other ones that literally have nothing to do with your life or your realm or your, like, family or whatever. You can go to them. Like, there are still choice times where I might go to them for inspiration if I'm, like, really stuck on something, or I just, like, it's almost like you give yourself 5 minutes, like, okay, I can go to 5 minutes and I can go stalk this person's page or stories, but then it's cut off and then you go back to your real life, or you go back to, like, the work that you were doing. But I have wasted so much time, following other people, letting it rub my joy, and then I wonder why I'm not inspired, or I feel like I'm bummed. So I don't even know. I didn't expect to talk about any of this, but Anna, I was just thinking about that today. I don't understand how on earth women look so put together all the time. Oh my gosh, seriously. I only follow a handful of other coaches. It helps me stop focusing on them. Totally. So again, that was such a long rant, and I'm sorry, but I just feel like you guys are all so amazing, and I feel like if you are struggling in your business, I can pretty much guarantee that either A, you're not doing personal development, or you're not reading or listening to personal development, or B, you're not doing it. It's one thing for it to come in your ears, but if you're listening to You Are a Badass, and, like, that's awesome, but if you're not doing it, then that translates as you're comparing yourself to other people, you're not believing in yourself, you're not taking risks, you're not getting out of your comfort zone, because all the things in You Are a Badass are like, freaking go for it. Try all the things. You're amazing. You are a badass. So if you're taking that in and you're literally doing it, you're going to be on fire, and you're not going to care whether those Success Club points exist there yet or not, or whether you have this massive team that you dream of yet, because you know that just by totally zoning in on your life, on your journey, it's going to happen. I think it's too easy to, like, look up around and be like, oh, what are they doing? Was it You're a Badass that I was listening to, or maybe it was the podcast. I was listening to a Rachel Hollis podcast yesterday. That was amazing. I don't know. I too many things in my head. But I think, like, I listened to something that was like, you know, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Totally just lost it. Why does that happen? Okay, I'm going to drink some water. Do you guys have anything you want to say? Or any feedback? This is crazy.
I can say something.
Please do.
Okay. So, like, since starting personal development and everything like that, my confidence has definitely, like, went up a ton, and I'm able to send some invites, but, like, I still can't get over my, like, limiting belief that I'm bothering people. And so that holds me back from sending way less, or, like, holding back from sending as many as I should by far. And I don't know, is there, like, a specific book or podcast that you would recommend for that?
Oh, dang. I don't know about a specific book or pod. I love that you just shared that, by the way, because that's so honest. And also, that's also something I've struggled with, and I probably guess that all of us can relate to. That feeling of, like, especially if you send 5 invites or 10 invites and you get no response. And so you read that lack of response as a response.
Yeah.
You say, oh my gosh, they think I'm salesy. They don't like me. They're not interested. They never want me to talk to them again. Like, you do all the things in your head in, like, 5 seconds, because that's what I do.
Yeah. And I know that I post it on my stories and I talk about it in my posts. And so I just feel like they are watching. I know they're watching because I see them like my stuff and watch my stories. So I'm like, they'll come to me if they want to, but then they don't. So then I'm like, I know I need to send these invites, but I still struggle real bad with that.
Okay. So 2 things. I was listening to a video that Ali Griffith did. She's Ashley
Yeah.
Dad's personally sponsored coach. And
Margaritas, something like that. Muscles to margaritas, something.
Yeah. I don't follow her on social media, but she did a video in the current Rise to the Top, like a Diamond Dash group. I think I see Jessie bobbing her head, so I know that she's like knows exactly what I'm talking about. But she did a video in that group, and it was very eye-opening to me because, again, you look at people with big, like, okay, so like if you do go to her social media, you see she has a growing social media. She has like a ton of likes and comments on her posts. So you just assume because she's hitting like between like SC50 and SC80 or something a month. You just assume like, okay, all these people are just coming to her now. But that's not the case. She is still sending 40 to 60 invites every single day. And on top of that, like what I love that she said is she's like, I follow up with them until they block me. That is your job. You follow up with them until they block you. And someone was like, well, what about like if you send an invite again to the person, like maybe you like sent them an invite last week and you send them another invite. Like, what if they think that's weird? She's like, I don't care if they think that's weird. I'm like, that's my job. I'm doing my job. Like it could change their life. And she's like, there's people that I've literally sent, like invited like 5 times and they've ghosted me and then they end up joining me. They're like, thank you for never giving up on me. So that just clicked something in my head. I have a major limiting belief. I have all these conversations in my head that aren't even actually happening. And also if someone thinks I'm weird for inviting them to something that could change their life, they're not my people. So like I just love what she said though. Like that, it made sense to me why she has the numbers that she does and she's seeing this growth because A, she's sending like a big number of invites consistently every day, and B, she's following up with them like crazy. So she has she puts everything in Google Streak, and she has a video I can share if you guys haven't seen it on like how to set up Google Streak. I haven't watched it. I've heard that it is awesome and simple, and people love it. And she has said, like, I'm not a techie person at all. If I can figure it out, you can. But it keeps her like knowing exactly who to follow up with and when, so people aren't going through the cracks. But I just think that's something where if we are feeling weird about following up, that's our own limiting belief.
Because I just gotta do it.
You just got to do it. You just got to understand it. Like, just don't think about it. Just be like, nope, just doing it. I love what Julie Voris said on her call that she did a couple weeks ago. She did like a live power hour on the new Success Club tracker. And she said, I have it written down. She said, take the emotion out of it and take action. And that, like, I wrote it down because that's really, I'm a feeler, right?
Yeah.
And I like feel everything, and I feel other people's emotions for them that they're probably not even having. I feel all the things all the time. And so I love that. Like, take the emotion out of it and just take action. And that helps me every day stay focused. Like, stop overthinking it, take the emotion out of it, just do the work. And I know that if you just do the work, we all know your heart is ginormous. So if anyone, like, the absolute worst that's going to happen is you're going to have someone come back to you and be like, I can't even believe you sent me 5 invites. And you'll be like, God bless, block.
Sorry, not sorry.
Like, if someone's going to be mean, A, that's just a reflection of pain that they're in. But B, that's also just like, they're not ready, not your person. Cool. On a note, like, now I don't delete anything ever in my DMs because I like seeing, like, if I don't remember, because when you're sending that many invites, I don't remember who I've talked to, where I left off. Like, there's too many conversations happening. So I just leave all DMs in my inbox, unless it's like you guys, I know who you are. So I don't need to be like, I don't know who she is. But there was one, I didn't used to save them though. And so when I was sending invites, like back in September, I guess, I had deleted all the ones that didn't respond back, or maybe I talked to and I found out that I talked to and I found out that they were a coach, or that they were like a challenger, but on someone else's team. So anyways, I sent an invite this last week, and this woman responds to me basically right away. You can tell she's kind of annoyed, and she's like, We talked on September 13th, and yes, I'm still a coach, and yes, I'm still on another team. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Haha. Like, thanks so much for letting me know either way. Have the best day. And like, because I'm like, oh well, like maybe if you put it in your profile, like if I go to your profile and I don't know you're a coach, that's on you, chick. That's not on me. That's on you. Like, everyone should know that you're there to help them. It's not my fault. You don't share anything. All I see is your dog. Like, come on. So again, don't feel weird about wanting to change someone's life. And also, I do see that there's power in that. Like, I've been thanked before for not giving up on people, like continuing to follow up. And I think that is so powerful, because if you're not ready, and there's another video that was in the level or the Rise to the Top group this week or last that I'm actually going to record. I think I'm going to do like a Zoom, and I'm going to share screen and record it, because it's only like 11 minutes. I don't know how else to get it in our team page. But I really loved what she said, because she's a 2-time elite coach. And she's like, I still get my feelings hurt sometimes. But I used to get them hurt all the time, like with hearing no's or people ghosting me or whatever. And like, she just shared how to work through that. And I feel like I'm going to do that. So, but I just think it's our job. And if we give up on people because they ghost us, then I feel like we're not following through. And then just think about it. You did all that prep work, right? So you invited them. They know they're watching you. Maybe you sent 4 invites and you stopped after that. And then another coach swoops in and helps them. And you're like, what the F? I just put in all that work. But if you drop the follow-up on that last time, then it's on you. And I've had that happen actually several times in the last couple months. I've had people that I've talked to over and over again. I even had a challenger that was in my group. She reached out to me last week, and I dropped following up with her, right? Because she stopped posting in the group, and I dropped it, and that's on me. And she's like, hey, Emily, I just want to see how you're doing. I ended up signing up as a coach, I'm so excited. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all that, because there literally is a girl right now that I put like a poll in my stories after my workout, like, you ready to join me or whatever. And she clicks yes all the time. And I message her back every time. I'm like, let's do this. Let me give you the details. What are your goals? Like, whatever. And I try to switch it up every time. I've never gotten a response back. And so this time I'm like, okay, I'm not going to respond. Maybe she's not meaning to click it, but I'll go back and I'll respond anyways.
Yeah. The girl that I was watching, I can't remember her name, but she said, I'll literally send people after I've like followed up with them 5 times or something. I'll send them a message, like just how you would talk to someone. And she'd be like, I promise you, I'm not trying to stalk you like crazy, but I just want you to know I'm not going to give up on you, and I'm here whenever you're ready. She's like, I'll say something like that. And I just think that's so brilliant, because it's literally like, I'm here for you whenever you're ready. Like, just so you know, I'm not going anywhere. I believe in you, and I'm here for you. Because that also lets them know you're not after the quick sale. You actually care about them. And something else she said that I loved is, she's like, we have no idea what's going on in people's lives. She's like, when I first started, before I started, oh, Mercedes, I'm sorry I didn't see her go. She said, before I first started, my coach invited me, and she's like, I only respond, like, they lived in the same town, I guess. Angie Belmar is her upline. And she's like, I only responded because like I thought that I was going to see her like at the grocery store or something. So I didn't want that to be awkward. But she's like, I then just like ignored her, like ghosted her, or told her I wasn't ready. And she's like, little did she know, like she had little ones at home. She was dealing with postpartum depression. She was like, I was at like the worst in my life and couldn't even like figure out, like I was so not ready. But then like she kept inviting me. And then when I was ready, that's when I joined. But had she not continued to invite her or not invited her in the first place, oh my gosh, she wouldn't have a 2-time elite coach on her team. So I just like, it's our job to invite. It's our job to invite our face off to the same person, to follow up, and to just not. No is just the start of a conversation. If someone's like, no, I'm not interested. Okay, cool. You just put them on that follow-up list. They don't know they're going on a follow-up list. You put them on that follow-up list for the next month and be like, hey, girlfriend, I know last month wasn't right for you, but I have this new group, and I just like, I just thought about you because I just love following you and I love your energy or whatever, like whatever. I think you'd be amazing. Whatever, like whatever you want to say, whatever's from your heart, but just like talk to people like you are their best friends, because that's what you're going to become when they join your boot camp and they join your team. You guys are going to become best friends. That's the whole goal. You don't want to work with people. Just, that's the cool thing about coaching, I feel like, is, yes, there's a level of professionalism for sure that goes into it, but ultimately it's the friendships, it's the relationships that keep you going and like make you want to show up into that boot camp or make you want to show up for a team call like this. You know, like it's because you actually like each other and you want to hang out. So talk to that person like you're already friends and like you already believe in them because you do. And yeah, I just think you just lead with that and take the emotion out of it and go for it. I'm missing all these things over here. Anna, yes, Jesse, and I love that training that Ali G did. She's crushing it. Her training has inspired me to change the way I track and send messages. I've had that happen a few times lately. Jesse, the way I see it, if they're still following you and liking your stuff, then they're interested. Invite until they block for sure. Karen, I've had a lot of success saying this to people that have ghosted my invites in the past. They usually respond to me and say sorry. They saw it and forgot to reply. Hey, I wasn't sure if you were just busy or uninterested. Laugh out loud. So just figured I would throw it out there again. I'm getting a new group started for February. We will be working towards better fitness and nutrition. Do you have any interest in that? I love that. I think that's so awesome. I love that. That's such a great follow-up. I also, Heather Shipley will send a follow-up, like say like she went through and did like her 60 invites or whatever. And then maybe like a couple days later, say all 60 of those invites didn't respond anything. She'll just go and like comment back to each of them and just be like, you know, hey Sarah, I just wanted to see, did you get my invitation above? Like just leave it really simple like that. And they're like, invitation, what? You know, like go back up. It's a way to open back up.
So after watching Ali's video with the like 60 invites or whatever, and her talking about streak, that's when I started in January, I was like, okay, I'm going to send 10 invites a day. And I was like, that was leveling up for me because I was really yo-yo with it. And then I watched her video and she was like 60. Okay, shit. So I guess I'm doing 60 invites a day. So I've been doing like 30 to 60. And I started implementing Streak, which is amazing for follow-ups because I didn't realize, going through all my invites again, I didn't realize how many people I invited in like September and they were kind of interested. And then I didn't follow up with them. And I'm like, it's been like 4 months. And then like now they're still interested. So what I've been doing is the pen and paper, like the 30 to 60 invites on paper. And then like that day, like if they respond, I put them, like highlight them pink or something. If they're interested, like if I send them more information, they're a different color. If they're already a coach, they're a different color. And then on the weekends, I input everybody into Streak. And then that way, as I'm putting them into Streak, I follow up with ones who have like kind of responded. So that way, every weekend I'm doing follow-ups. So that's it's been really working really well for me.
I love that. So you're doing your invites during the week and then follow-ups on the weekend?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because I don't have time to sit down every night and put like 60 invites into Streak. Like it just takes so much time. So pen and paper as I go. And then on the weekends, I don't worry about invites because I've already sent like 300 or something during the week.
Yeah.
So, and then on the weekends, I just do follow-ups. And then it's been working really well.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think it's so interesting to hear like what works for different people, because I also know that some of like our brains all work differently. I know like when they did a series I think I talked about this last week, but they did a series last year. It was like a week long or 2 weeks long or something. And they have different top coaches share what their power hour looks like. And a lot of them were like, they don't do follow-ups and invites on the same day. So they'll do it's separate. So like they'll do their power hour, do all the other things, but they'll just focus heavily on like sending a ton of invites at once on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, it's all about follow-up. And back on Thursday, they're back to inviting a ton. So I just think like it's about finding how your brain works, but just being consistent with it, you know? And for sure, I mean, if you're like, okay, I want to like help one person or help 3 people or, you know, just go emerald in a month, then okay, like 5 to 10 invites will probably get you there consistently every day. Like that will get you probably to Success Club. But if you're like, I'm leveling up, like I need to pay my freaking mortgage with this income, and I need to, like, I want to take my family on a trip to Disney, or I like want to go diamond in the next 4 weeks, then we just have to 10x everything. And that is what we're coming back to. We're going to start 10x. Karen said that she already started it and she's loving it. But I'm going to start 10x roll. You already started, Jesse? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so in February, if you want to join us in that, we're going to read it together as a team. I'm really excited. It's my first time reading it. It's been collecting dust on my shelf for too long. So I'm excited to dive in and 10x our business together. Yeah. Anything else, you guys? Questions? Want to share anything? I did want to say, like, also for February, I would plan out your month and figure out, like, if you have these goals, okay, like reverse engineer. So say for instance, you're a brand new coach, and you have 0 coaches so far on your team. You're a team of 1, it's you. But you're like, I am going to get to diamond by February the 28th. It is happening. So, you know, you have like basically 4 weeks to make that happen. That means 12 coaches. That is totally doable. Like it is diamond is so simple. You can absolutely do it. Do not overcomplicate it. It's 12 coaches. So you break that down. How many coaches are you going to be signing? Then every week you're going to be you need to be signing 3 coaches a week for the next 4 weeks. You can totally do that. You can help 3 people, but also you've got to have the invites and the consistency, and doing your tracker, to back that up. So yeah, if you have big goals and you are pushing for something, and really that is the point of Team Cup, is to push. It's not time to like just coast. It's time to be like, how big can I blow this up? How far? Because you have all the momentum of the team that you're working with, of our team as a whole, to like be like, push, 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 go, 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 like go for the prize, go for the gold. So like really give it everything you've got. If you're like, okay, I feel like I could send 10 invites, then I'm going to say that's too comfortable for you. Double it, like 10x everything, right? So go to 20. And then once you're sending 20, you're like, I can totally do this. You're going to get faster the more you're doing it. As soon as you're consistent with 10, you're going to find that you can up that number. So yeah, like we're going to 10x our businesses because that's what we do. Otherwise, I don't think you'd be on this call right now. You feel like this crazy lady, she's shouting at me. Oh my gosh. I want to figure out streak, team belief to break through in the house. Oh, I love that name. That's awesome. Yay. Well, but yeah, plan out your February, figure out for like with your team, as you're pushing and you're positive and you're doing your trackers every day. Also, maybe like if you don't want to run a boot camp together, you for sure don't have to. If you feel better doing it on your own as a leader so that you level up, do that. But maybe you're like, let's run a boot camp together. So with your other 4 people, you pick a date in February, your boot camp start date, you set that date in your mind and you don't move it. I've done that before where I'm like, oh, I'll just keep moving it because, oh, I haven't invited enough and I haven't gotten enough people. But if you put that date in your mind and then you're like, I have to have 5 people by then, you're going to be working your face off because you don't want just one person in there. You don't want crickets. So set a date and work together and collaborate. You could do a boot camp together. Also, you for sure should be running a sneak peek. I really encourage you guys to do it on your own. Absolutely. You could collaborate with your teammates for Team Cup. That could be really fun and like take different days or different videos, just highlighting the different aspects of coaching. But especially as a leader that you are, your people for sure need to see you talking in video. They need to see you showing up in that sneak peek and see you as a leader, not your upline, and not like, so, like they need to see you present. So and also it's going to make you feel even more like a leader, it will grow your business. So I just say, like, set a date, at least one sneak peek, if not two. You could totally do a sneak peek. Like you could do, say, like, post tomorrow or post tonight on your stories, and just be super consistent on your stories in all the ways, and the polls and the questions, and talking about it all the time in different fun ways, and post about it on your social media, on your Facebook and on your IG and on everything, and just keep talking about it in different ways and switching it up. And you could do a sneak peek starting on Friday. You could do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or you could do just on Saturday. Be like, we're going to have a webinar on Saturday at 10 a.m. just talking about how, like, all the things. You like, just don't be feeling like, oh, I have to put all this prep into it. It can literally be as something as simple as, I'm going to pick it. We're going to start tomorrow. Yep, we're going to do it tomorrow. And you just talk about it as though all the people are coming and everyone wants to be a part of it. And you go at it, your social media, with that much energy. And I feel like when you have that conviction, that's going to come through. Like, again, you're confident, you're excited, you're going to find those people that are, you're a magnet. So, yeah. Plan out your month, rock your month. I realize it's been a week and I still haven't created our circle, but I am going to create that. Maybe I'll actually even do it tonight. But our, like, builders circle or whatever, not circle, I'm not calling it circle, but our builders page. So I still haven't come up with a name clearly, but I am going to add everyone in there that, like, all of you, because I'm guessing you're all hitting success. You're all going to hit Success Club this month. You're all going to hit Success Club next month. You're going for it. And like I said on last call, I will add you in this month. You basically, like, whether you hit Success Club in January or not, I'm not focused on that. For sure you should, for your own self and your business, and your confidence in going into February. But basically, like, we're really just focusing on February. Everyone that hits Success Club will stay in the group. If you don't hit Success Club in February, you'll be removed. But it will be a place for us. To me, that's also a place where we can all just rally, and maybe that's where we post our trackers and our invites and, like, share as a big group. So it's kind of like you have your 5 team, like your group of 5, but we also are all coming together as a team, bigger team, working for a team cup, which I know would really excite me. I'd love to work with all of you. I'm super pumped about my team of 5, but I also really I want us to all work together. So, because I know that you guys are amazing and all have awesome ideas too. So, that's all I got. My voice is about shot. You guys are the best. Anything? Any last words? Questions? Anything? No? Okay. I'll get this recording up. I love you all so much. Happy January. Happy last call. And I will talk to you soon. See you in February. Okay. Bye.